If you're in college or heading there, you already know the feeling. You've got assignments, lectures, deadlines, maybe a job, and you're trying to have a social life. It is a lot. So today, we're not just talking about how to survive all that. We're talking about how to build a personal system to actually thrive. Let's get into it.
And this quote from College Info Geek just nails it, doesn't it? The amount of information coming at you every single day is just staggering. And if you're trying to rely on your brain alone to hold on to everything, well, it's kind of like trying to catch a waterfall in a teacup. You're gonna get overwhelmed. It's inevitable.
So that's the real question, right? How do we build a system that can handle all this? The answer isn't about just trying harder or having a photographic memory. Nope, it's about creating a smart, external system that has your back. So, let's build that blueprint, piece by piece.
Okay, first things first. Before we get into any cool apps or fancy study techniques, we have to talk about the one thing that powers it all, and that's you. Your physical well-being, especially your sleep, is the absolute bedrock. It's the foundation of the whole system.
I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day, literally. On one side, you have a sleep-deprived brain that's foggy, slow, and struggling to remember anything. But on the other, with enough sleep, your brain is sharp and efficient. Research from Salinas University makes it super clear. Sleep isn't downtime. It's when your brain is hard at work, locking in memories and getting you ready to learn new stuff. It's not a luxury. It's a core academic tool.
There are exactly 168 hours in a week. That's all we get. And when you look at it that way, you start to see that blocking out 50 or 60 of those hours for sleep isn't losing time. It's a strategic investment that makes every single one of your other hours way more effective.
Okay, so your physical brain is rested and ready to go. But what do we do about that fire hose of information I mentioned? Well, we build it a partner. And this is where the amazing concept of a second brain comes in.
This is such a game-changing idea. You get everything out of your head and into a trusted place you can rely on. See, your mind is for having ideas, not for holding them. When you create a second brain, and this can be anything from a high-tech app to a simple set of digital notes, you free up all that mental RAM to do what it does best: think, create, and solve problems.
So how do you keep this second brain from becoming a total mess? Well, a really popular method is called PARA. Let's break it down. P is for projects. These are things with a real deadline, like finish history paper. A is for areas. These are the big ongoing parts of your life, like finances or fitness. R is for resources. This is your personal library for stuff you're curious about, like notes on quantum physics. And finally, A is for archive, where everything goes when it's done. Simple, right? It's a super effective way to bring some order to all that digital chaos.
Now we take that same logical thinking and apply it to our most precious resource, time. A master schedule isn't meant to be a prison. It's about being brutally honest with your 168 hours. You start with the big rocks, your classes, your job, and yes, your sleep. You block all that out, and what's left, well, that's what you actually have to work with. Seeing it all laid out is a huge eye-opener, and it's the best way to stop yourself from getting burned out.
All right, we have our solid foundation and a framework to stay organized. Now we need the engine, the part of the system that actually does the heavy lifting of learning and makes information stick. And honestly, the science on this is getting so clear it's impossible to ignore.
I want you to forget about passively rereading your notes or highlighting your textbook until it's glowing. The single most powerful way to learn is something called retrieval practice. It's the act of pulling information out of your brain. Every time you force yourself to remember something with a flashcard, a practice quiz, whatever, you are literally building and strengthening the neural pathways to that memory. It's like doing a rep at the gym, but for your brain.
Okay, fair question. It sounds good in theory, but is this just a small improvement or is it a real game changer? Well, let's take a look at the actual data.
And the data is just wow. An empirical study on data science students found a 16 percentage point jump in quiz scores for the students who used retrieval practice. Let me put that another way. That is literally the difference between getting a C and a high B, or a B and an A+. This isn't some tiny little hack. It is a fundamental shift in how well you can learn.
But here's a quick heads up. A lot of us are using AI tools to generate these practice questions, which is awesome. But you got to be careful. The same study that found these amazing results also warned that AI can make mistakes. It can spit out wrong answers, questions that give away the answer, or really trivial stuff that doesn't actually test your knowledge. So use the tools, but always use your own brain as the final fact checker.
So we've got the foundation, the framework, and the engine. What are we missing? The fuel. And one of the most powerful and most overlooked sources of fuel you have in college is right there at the front of the classroom. Just look at these numbers from a 2022 survey. 28% of students, nearly a third, never go to office hours. Another 55% go maybe once. That means more than 80% of students are basically ignoring this incredible resource that's just sitting there waiting for them. It's such a huge missed opportunity.
You know, I think a lot of us feel like we're bothering our professors if we show up to office hours. But this quote from Dr. Debbie Castle at USF just completely blows that myth out of the water. They are there to help you. It's literally their job. And for most of them, it's the part of the job they love the most. They want you to succeed.
And to make the most of it, just go in with a simple plan. Pop in early in the semester just to say hi. When you have a question, try to work on it first so you can show them what you've done. This isn't about them just giving you the answers. It's about them teaching you how to find the answers yourself, which is a way more valuable skill in the long run.
Okay, let's zoom out and put all these pieces together. We've talked about 4 different elements, but they're not separate ideas. They all lock into each other to create one powerful, cohesive system.
And here's the blueprint. Your foundation, your physical health, gives you the energy. Your framework, that second brain, organizes all the chaos. Your engine, retrieval practice, is what drives real learning. And the fuel, your network of professors, is there to guide and support you. You see how each part makes the others stronger? That's what makes it a system.
And that's really the big takeaway here. This isn't about pulling more all-nighters or trying to brute force your way through your classes. It's about taking a step back, being strategic, and building an intelligent system that does the heavy lifting for you.
Now, I know, this can sound like a lot to implement all at once, but you don't have to. You just have to lay one brick. Just start somewhere. Maybe tonight, that first brick is just getting 8 hours of sleep. Or maybe it's spending 5 minutes setting up a digital notebook. Or just looking up your professor's office hours. So, think about it. What's the first brick you're going to lay?